morning and welcome to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's only local morning show, giving you exclusive access into people, businesses, and events in our community. We're bringing you the show live daily, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. with your host, me, Maddie Mustian. Before we dive into today's show, every week we highlight someone, an educator, student, business, or organization from our Greater West Bloomfield community, going above and beyond. If you would like to submit an entry for someone, you can scan the QR code on the screen and fill out the Google form with the person's name, their contact information, and reasons why you think they should be recognized for our Person of the Week. Now let's go check out what's going on in our Greater West Bloomfield community. Our first event is the West Wingfield Township Public Library virtual programming. They have some great events starting today. The registration opens for their Library on the Go. This week it is the Sun Catchers. Tomorrow, March 1st, they have their 9 a.m. Tween and Teen West Bloomfield Library on the Go, which is their Pom Pom Critters, as well as their 7 p.m. talk called Women of the Black Bottom States. They are During this talk, they will be discussing the women of the Black Bottom States while giving insight into the stories and history of real-life characters and how they influence the cultural landscape of Detroit in the period between the Great Depression and post-World War II. Our next event is tomorrow. March begins tomorrow, and that means that Fat Tuesday is right around the corner. Connect at Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield is hosting a fun morning to celebrate Fat Tuesday. You're invited to drop in anytime between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. to grab a punchki and enjoy the Connect Center with friends. No registration is necessary, but they do limit the punchki intake to 1 per member. Our last event that is ongoing is the Sylvan Lake Game Night event. This event is perfect if you're looking for something fun to do this winter. Whether you go alone or with friends, the Sylvan Lake Game Nights are a great way to socialize safely with your neighbors and friends. Sylvan Lake Game Nights take place every Wednesday when there is not a Sylvan Lake board meeting in the community center. It will start at 5:30 p.m. and will go to about 9 p.m. at the community center. You're welcome to bring any games that you would like to play. They also will be having some games including euchre and mahjong. You are also welcome to bring any family and friends that you wish to invite. If you have an event you would like us to feature, you can send us a message on our social media pages at Civic Center TV and Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. Coming up, we'll be taking a look at how you can find the right place for you to age in the right place. But before that, if you're a foodie or just looking for a great place to grab a slider in Keego Harbor, you've heard the buzz about the new slider restaurant that popped up in Keego Harbor. Although they have no name and the place has been packed with people looking to taste the great food that they have to offer, Splash reporter Brendan Schreiber got an exclusive look at the new go-to in Keego Harbor.
Right here in Keego Harbor on Orchard Lake Road, a new slider joint has many people talking. Here at the Splash, we talked with the owner, Les Pollock, and asked him to tell us a little more about his establishment.
Well, we opened this place because there's no slider places in the area. So I've been eating sliders for years and we wanted to make the slider a little better. So what we did here is we did an all-natural grass-fed Angus beef. We changed the patty to a 1.2. Most places have a 1.4 ounce. We took it to a 2 ounce patty, right? So we kind of perfected the bun to meat ratio. We're using a great potato bun. It's an 80-20 blend, little mix of brisket in there, and we just made a better slider.
One of the biggest mysteries surrounding this modest restaurant is the name, which is yet to be revealed. We asked Les what the status was on the upcoming title.
We wanted to open. We had some issues with our packaging, which is like on a 3-month delay. So we figured, all right, we're just not going to do a name right now. We're going to launch a name come spring. We'll do like a ribbon cutting with the city and all that fun stuff, and then we'll launch the name, and our social media and our bags and our cups and all that stuff should be in by then.
Finally, we asked Les why Keego Harbor was the perfect place for his slider restaurant.
Well, there's a couple other burger places in the Oakland County area, and we saw this building. We thought it would be a perfect fit. It's surrounded by all the lakes, and we just thought it would be a great idea to open up a burger place here.
For tasty sliders and more, head on over to Orchard Lake Road right next to Hester Report. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Brendan Schreiber.
It's now time to head over to check out the new go-to lunch and dinner spot in Keego Harbor that's located across from Dairy Queen and Sage Green Floral Shop in Keego Harbor off of Orchard Lake Road to grab a sliver and a milkshake as well as some fries. Later on, we'll be hearing from student athletes at West Bloomfield High School about why they loved going to school at WB, but we're going to check out now what some advice is about aging in the right place with senior mortgage loan officer Michelle Clark. We talked to her a while back on The Splash about how you can age in the right place and her advice for those residents in West Bloomfield. Let's go check it out. We're now joined by Michelle Clark. She's the senior mortgage loan officer at Michigan First Mortgage. Michelle, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, Maddie, for having me.
Michelle, could you first start off with explaining your role as the senior mortgage loan officer at Michigan First Mortgage?
So my responsibility is to help clients get into either first-time home ownership or people that are currently in a home looking to refinance or maybe even to upgrade into something newer or bigger.
Michelle, could you tell us a little bit about the steps one should take in order to apply and take out a loan?
Okay, so what you would want to do is contact myself, hopefully, to get a pre-approval. Once you go through the steps of the pre-approval process, which is basically getting a handful of items that are needed, such as your bank statements, W-2s, current pay stubs to show that you are employed, and bank statements to show the funds that you're going to be using to purchase your home. Once you get your pre-approval in hand, you want to make sure that you are working with a reputable real estate agent. We have several in this area that I personally work with myself. Again, work with somebody who knows the industry and is familiar too on how the process works.
Michelle, for someone who is a first-time buyer, what should they know? Do you have any tips or advice to guide them through that process?
Well, a lot of the misunderstanding in the market, there's a lot of people renting right now. So those are the people that I'd like to try to work with to get them into home ownership, because why build equity in somebody else's investment? Let's start building it in your own. So though the conventional program is a 20% down, we have programs today that will help clients get into home ownership with less than 20% down. Examples would be an FHA, which requires 3.5% down, a MSHA program that you can utilize, which is through Michigan. And then we at Michigan First Credit Union have our own program, which is called Turning Point. Now, though the other two programs that I mentioned do require a PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, which insures the lender because you're not putting 20% down, the Turning Point program offers you to put 10% down without PMI insurance. So you can take that savings and put that on your principal balance every month on your current mortgage.
Michelle, do you see an impact with the buyers in the housing market right now with those interest rates rising?
Yes, interest rates are not 1.75 as they were a year ago. The reality is the economy is changing right now. The housing market is changing. It is currently still a seller's market. That's because of the low inventory that we've had the last couple of years and the homes being scooped up very quickly. But rates are still anywhere between, say, a 3.5% and 4% rate right now. So though that's a little higher than what it has been for the last couple of years, these are still good interest rates, people. Don't, again, waste your money on apartment renting. Start building equity and getting your tax breaks on your own home.
Michelle, some people may be a little bit nervous about not having the perfect credit score that it may deter them from purchasing a home. What kind of advice and resources do you have to offer to them to help them maybe get into the buyer's market?
Well, I would recommend everybody at least every 6 months pull your own credit score. In the mortgage industry, we use the 3 merge. So you're going to use TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So say if you're buying a home or buying a car rather, they might use TransUnion or one of the other 2. But with the mortgage, you're going to pull all 3 bureaus. You can go on either credit, you can go on the annualcredit.com and pull that once a year. But be aware of what your credit is. That's first off. That way you can stay on top of it and work on it. Make sure that you understand that just because you have a lower FICO score does not mean that you can't get into home ownership. We have FICO scores that are under 640 and we can still get people into home ownership. So there are programs that are out there. So don't let that deter you. And keep in mind too that there's always the opportunity for any of the programs to get seller contributions. In addition, like on a VA, I have worked with a lot of veterans in the past. Those people are not putting any money down. So veterans out there, take advantage of your veteran benefit. You've worked hard for it.
And Michelle, let's talk about some of those veterans benefits. Do you guys have specific programs at Michigan First Mortgage that are able to help those veterans that are looking to either get into home ownership or take out a loan?
Yes, at Michigan First, besides the mortgage piece of it, and again, that's a 0% down to the veterans out there. We have a lot of benefits here at the credit union piece of it, for savings accounts, boat loans, RV, car loans. What we have to offer is, unlike maybe a broker, if you go to a broker for a home loan, you're going to, in most cases, pay higher closing costs and a little bit higher interest rates. With a credit union, because we are a nonprofit, our rates are going to be lower and more competitive, and we'll be able to get you into those different type of loans, including your mortgage, at a better rate and less fees.
Michelle, as we wrap up here, is there anything else you wanted to share, either about your position as a senior mortgage loan officer or anything else about the programs that you guys have at Michigan First?
I would just like to say to everybody out there, again, don't let a FICO score detour you. Please reach out to me today. If I can get that information from you, we can actually get you a pre-approval pretty quickly. I'm going to say within an hour. So again, the market is going to be picking up again real soon. Spring is on the way. And I hope that you will consider myself and Michigan First Credit Union for your next mortgage.
Michelle, if someone does want to reach out to you, how can they go about reaching out to you or another one of your officers at Michigan First?
Okay, they can contact me directly at 248-974-9619, or they can email me at Michelle, actually it'll be M for Michelle Clark, at michiganfirst.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
A big thank you again to Michelle Clark for joining us on the Splash Live to talk about the many ways in which seniors in our community can find somewhere to age in the right place. We're going to take a look at our QR code again on the screen. This is for our Person of the Week. So every week we highlight someone here on the Splash Live who is going above and beyond in our community, whether they are a student, a business, an educator, or a local business person. We highlight them here on the Splash Live because of the things that they are doing in the community to impact those, whether they're impacting their neighbors or their friends or their classmates. We would like to highlight someone here each week on the Splash Live that is going above and beyond in the community. So if you have someone that comes into your mind who you would like to highlight here on the Splash Live, you can go ahead and scan the QR code. It's very easy. It only takes about a minute. You can scan the QR code on the screen, fill out the short Google form with the person's name, their contact information, and some reasons why you think they should be recognized for the Person of the Week. There are so many things to love about West Bloomfield High School that the students and the staff love that we couldn't even fit it into one video. But the student athletes at West Bloomfield told us a few things about why they have loved going to a high school as great as West Bloomfield. Let's go check out what the student athletes had to say. There are so many things to love about attending high school at West Bloomfield. So we asked some of their student athletes who signed their national letter of intent what their favorite thing about going to high school at West Bloomfield is.
most definitely the community. Like, I have such great friends, such personal relationships that I've built with a multitude of people. There's so many people here to support me. So I just love that there's so many friendly people here, and I really feel a sense of community when I come to the school.
My favorite thing about going to school here, basically the education is really good. I came from another district, and I can really say that it's very much a difference between West Bloomfield district and the other districts. And it's filled with loving people. Everybody here is caring. Everybody here treats you like family. So, yeah.
I love everything. I love the medical mentorship program that I'm in here. I love the National Honor Society program that I'm in. And the school is just an overall great environment. The people here are nice, the teachers are great, and the school is just wonderful.
It's the community, it's very diverse, so you can have friends, all different types of ethnicities, just family, friends, and then everybody, when you meet them, they just really cool, everybody clicks, no one really hates anybody. It's a really nice environment, and when you go here, it allows you to have fun, just be a happy student.
Just the people I've met, honestly, the relationships I've built. Growing up, I was usually like a kid that's to myself, and to really know that I have a second family, like the Williams and Michaela and all of them, it really does mean a lot that I have people that are there for me. Just the fact that I have a relationship. To me and my mom, that's my best friend. That I have another family that cares for me just like my mom does, that means a lot. Because it means something different to hear someone else saying they believe in me.
My favorite thing is definitely being a swamp leader. The student sections at WB are great. Being able to lead them is even better. I love the student body here. It's so spirited and so welcoming, and it's definitely been a great 4 years.
You get to see a lot of new people every day, so yeah. My favorite thing about going to the high school is that it's so diverse and you meet so many people, and you just build a lot of connections, especially senior year. You just grow very close with your senior class, and it's very fun.
So take it from the student athletes. There are so many things to love about going to high school at West Bloomfield. Reporting for the Splash Live, I'm Maddie Muschick. Thank you to all the student athletes for sharing their thoughts with us about why they love going to a great high school such as West Bloomfield High School. We're going to take a short break, but when we get back, we'll be talking with Lisa Brownlee. She is the Diabetic Food Pantry leader that is doing great things here in West Bloomfield for those people that struggle with diabetes right here in Greater West Bloomfield. So don't go anywhere. We will be taking a short break, but afterwards we'll be talking with Lisa.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. I'm your host, Maddie Muschick. We hear of food pantries all the time, but for people in the community who with food restrictions, especially with diabetes, may have a hard time finding food that works for them. Joining us now is a pantry leader for the Diabetic Food Pantry at Spirit of Grace Church in West Bloomfield, Lisa Brownlee. Lisa, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Happy to be here.
Lisa, could you first start off by telling us the background on the Diabetic Food Pantry and the inspiration behind starting it?
Well, We're 6 months into the Diabetic Food Pantry. We do a monthly drive-up distribution of diabetic-friendly foods the third Saturday of every month at Spirit and Grace Church in West Bloomfield. It's from 10 to 12. And we've been doing this for about 6 months, and it's been extremely successful. And we've been serving about 25 to 30 clients each month. And there is a great need for it because so many people I've talked to that have gone to traditional food pantries in the area just can't find anything according to their dietary restrictions. And so it came up with me last spring, to start a diabetic food pantry for the community. And we serve all of Oakland County to anybody that's diabetic. We do not deliver. People have to come to the church and drive up on our pantry days to get the food.
Lisa, as the pantry leader, what types of things do you oversee? Can you tell us a little bit about your responsibilities at the Diabetic Food Pantry?
Well, I have to oversee that I have enough volunteers on Pantry Saturday, and so I delegate duties and to each volunteer. We are cross-training our volunteers to do to work in the pantry room, the non-perishable room, outside, greeting the customers. And we've been having like 6 to 10 volunteers each month. Christmas time, we had a table that we set out, so we needed a couple more people to monitor the table. It was to give every client a gift at Christmas time in the December pantry. But the rest of the time, we're doing like 6 or 7 volunteers, which is manageable for Pantry Saturday. We've been getting like 3 community volunteers, people from the community, and 3 church members, and it's worked out really well.
Lisa, could you tell us a little bit about what types of things that are at these diabetic food pantries that make them so beneficial to people who have diabetic restrictions?
We have partnered with Sprouts in Pontiac, and we go once a month. Well, I go once a month as a pantry leader. Usually the day before Pantry Saturday, I pick up fresh perishables and fruits and veggies from them, and I bring them to the church, and I put them in the back refrigerator in the back room. We have refrigeration, and we have a freezer that we use. We can't take them too early because we need them to be fresh. So we get them like a day or two before Pantry Saturday, before the distribution. So a lot of people have been happy with the fresh fruits and vegetables. We've had lettuce, asparagus, apples, oranges, squash, carrots, a little bit of everything. And so it's working out really well. But during the winter months, we really have to watch that the perishables are not out of, they're not too rotten, I would say. So we kind of have to watch that because it's, the seasonal, it's more of a seasonal item. But the non-perishables, we have shelving units for, and we can take them anytime. And we have like low sugar cereal, oatmeal, steel cut oats, protein drinks, protein bars, glucerna drinks and bars, canned veggies, low sodium canned veggies, natural juice fruits in can with no added sugar. And we have brown rice and we have popcorn and nuts and some soups, but we have to be careful. And we have canned tuna and canned chicken and canned salmon. And sometimes we do have regular meats, and we store those in the freezer, like ground turkey, chicken, and salmon.
And Lisa, right now you're looking for people to host food drives around the area. Can you tell us a little bit about how one can get involved and host one of those food drives?
Yes, we're looking to schedule community events around the area throughout the calendar year. I've already got, I'm scheduling a Dine and Donate fundraising event at the lodge in the spring, where people can go and have dinner, and the restaurant takes 20% out of the proceeds and they will donate to the Diabetic Food Pantry. I don't have a date set yet, but I will post it on our Facebook Diabetic Food Pantry page when it's all confirmed. But I'm looking at doing it in the spring. Schools can get involved, other churches, businesses, neighborhoods, scouts, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, any sport teams, and they could get involved and just have a contact us at Spirit of Grace Church, and we have a food list, and we can get them some flyers and a food list, and they can host a food drive and ask for the list on the foods. We'll just give out 3 or 4 kinds of foods that we need. It's kind of overwhelming if they see the whole list and they're not a diabetic and they see the whole list and they don't know what foods to get. So we've kind of scaled it down just for a few things.
Lisa, if someone was looking to either host one of those food drives or volunteer at the Diabetic Food Pantry, what's the best way that they can contact you or get involved?
Well, they could contact the church. They can contact me directly on my cell phone number, or contact the church, and the church will contact me. We have a Diabetic Food Pantry page, Facebook, and they could go on there. It's a public group, so anybody can see it and anybody can join, and they can contact me through that page as well.
Awesome. Well, Lisa, as we wrap up, is there anything else you want to share with our audience today?
No, I have a lot of things that I'm working on with the Diabetic Food Pantry for the future. So I'm, we're doing really well. We're working hard, and I'm looking forward to having more things scheduled through this year and many years to come.
Well, Lisa, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Once again, I was joined by the pantry leader for the Diabetic Food Pantry at Spirit of Grace Church in West Bloomfield, Lisa Brownlee, talking about the Diabetic Food Pantry and how you can get involved with them. That's it for today's show. Thank you again to Lisa for joining us this morning. A special thanks to our Zoom producer, Jared Clark, for coordinating the Zoom and making sure our guests joined us. As always, a big thank you to Calvin Brown, our board operator, for making the show possible each and every morning. And thank you for joining me as we explored all of the people and events in our greater West Bloomfield community. As always, you can make sure to tune in live on Civic Center TV on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99 Monday through Friday at 9:30 to catch up on what's going on in our greater West Bloomfield community. You can also watch our show every morning on My Michigan TV. It's a new streaming service that covers all of the great people and events happening around Michigan. You can either head over to mymytv.com or download the My Michigan TV app. You can also check out our archive featured stories there as well. For all of our friends in Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, Keego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Muschin. Thank you for watching The Splash Live.
Today, it is easier than ever to join Michigan's Organ Donor Registry and help build a bridge of hope for organ, tissue, and eye donation.